Imagine a small town, the kind where secrets have a way of clinging to the frost on the windows.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that.
It's December, bitterly cold, and a young woman vanishes into the night.
No, that's how you hook an audience. I'm already intrigued.
Her car's left behind, purse too, even a single lens from her eyeglasses.
Wait, what? Just one lens. Okay, now you've got my full attention.
That's just one of the many unsettling details in the case of Donna Ingresol, a mystery that has haunted Wabasha, Minnesota for over 3 decades.
And we're diving deep into it today, right?
Absolutely. Trying to piece together what happened on that frigid December night back in 1990.
This is one of those cases that just gets under your skin, isn't it? The small town setting, the lingering questions, the fact that after all this time, Donna's disappearance remains unsolved.
It really is. And what strikes me is how Donna's vanishing shattered the illusion of safety and familiarity in Wabasha.
Right, this is a town of just 2,500 people, nestled on the banks of the Mississippi. Everyone knows everyone, or at least they think they do.
Until something like this happens, and suddenly those familiar faces, those quiet streets, they take on a whole new meaning.
A darkness creeps in, doesn't it? The thought that something so unsettling could happen in their midst.
Exactly. So let's try to understand Donna, the woman at the heart of this mystery. Who was she?
From what her family and friends have said, Donna was a 25-year-old woman who loved her car, was close to her family. She seemed to be pretty rooted in the community.
It's hard to imagine someone like that just vanishing without a trace.
Right, and that's what makes this case so perplexing. Her loved ones have said this was totally out of character for her.
The night she disappeared, Donna was with her boyfriend, Gary Murphy, at his ex-girlfriend's house.
Oh, that's already complicated.
It gets even more tangled. The ex-girlfriend, Colleen Harwick, and her current boyfriend were there too.
So you've got a recipe for some serious tension even before you add in any alcohol.
And there was alcohol involved. They were all having drinks. At some point, an argument erupted between Donna and Gary.
Classic love triangle drama.
Possibly.
Hmm.
But it's what happens next that really chills you to the bone. Donna, in a fit of anger, or maybe just to get some air, storms out of the house into the snowy night.
Okay, I can see that happening. Sometimes you just need to walk away, cool off.
But here's the thing. She left behind her car, her purse.
Maybe she just wanted to get out of there, clear her head. Figured she'd come back for her things later.
But she also left behind one lens from her eyeglasses.
Wait, just one lens? That doesn't make sense. Who walks away in the freezing cold without their glasses, especially if they need them to see?
It's a detail that has baffled investigators for years. Why would someone who relies on their glasses to see choose to leave them behind?
You're right, that is strange. It's almost as if she left in a hurry, maybe even in a panic.
And reports suggest that this wasn't entirely out of character for Donna. Apparently, she had a history of walking away after arguments, sometimes disappearing for a day or two.
So maybe this was just Donna taking some time for herself, like she'd done before.
That was the initial thought. But then, why leave behind essential items like her car and purse? And what about that missing eyeglass lens?
Yeah, those are the questions that start to chip away at the cooling off theory. And they're the questions that would eventually haunt investigators, especially when Donna didn't come back after a day or two.
So when did it become clear that something was truly wrong? When did people realize that this wasn't just another one of Donna's disappearances?
Well, her boyfriend, Gary, did call the police that night, but it seems the initial response was, let's say, less than urgent.
They assumed she'd just turn up like she had before.
Exactly. Maybe they were influenced by her past behavior. But whatever the reason, it wasn't until several days later, when Donna was still nowhere to be found, that she was officially reported missing and a full-scale search began.
Those lost days, those crucial hours after her disappearance, they must have had a huge impact on the investigation.
Absolutely. Imagine the evidence that might have been gathered, the leads that could have been followed if they had acted sooner.
It's a chilling thought, isn't it? The idea that a delayed response might have hindered their chances of finding Donna. As the days turned into weeks with no sign of her, rumors started swirling in Wabasha.
Small towns and rumors, they go hand in hand, don't they? Especially when something like this happens.
What were some of the theories floating around?
Given that Wabasha is right on the Mississippi River, one of the first theories was that Donna, maybe disoriented without her glasses, wandered into the icy water and, well, you can imagine.
A tragic accident.
It's a possibility, especially considering the freezing temperatures that night. But there were also whispers of something more sinister.
Foul play.
Yes, some folks believed that Donna had been harmed, that someone had something to do with her disappearance.
And adding to the confusion, a psychic even claimed to have a vision of Donna's body in the river.
Oh, wow. That's a whole other layer to this story. Psychics, small towns, missing persons. It's like a scene from a movie.
It's strange how in the absence of concrete information, our minds try to fill in the blanks, often with a mix of hope and dread.
It's human nature, isn't it? We crave answers, especially when faced with the unknown.
But in Donna's case, those answers seemed further away than ever, especially when Gary Murphy, her boyfriend and the last person to see her alive, died by suicide just a few months after her disappearance.
That's a heartbreaking twist. What do you think? Was it guilt, grief, something else entirely? And what did his death mean for the investigation?
It's a question that has lingered over the case ever since. Gary's death tragically took with it any answers he might have held. We can only speculate about his reasons, but what's clear is that his passing added another layer of complexity to an already perplexing case. It robbed investigators of a key witness, someone who could have potentially shed light on what truly transpired that December night. And as the leads dried up, Donna's case went cold, a file tucked away in the Wabasha Police Department, a haunting reminder of a mystery left unsolved.
Until, years later, a new police chief arrives in town, a man determined to breathe new life into Donna's cold case.
Jim Warren. His dedication to finding answers for Donna and her family is truly remarkable. It's almost like a beacon of hope was reignited when he took on this case. But we'll have to delve into that in the next part of our deep dive.
I'm already on the edge of my seat. Jim Warren really shook things up when he became Wabasha's new police chief.
He seemed determined to bring fresh eyes to the case, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. You could tell he wasn't going to let Donna's case be just another forgotten file gathering dust. He really wanted to find out what happened to her, bring some peace to her family and the community.
It sounds like his arrival was a turning point for Donna's case.
Yeah, I think it was. He wasn't just content with reviewing the old files. He wanted to dig deeper, re-examine every detail, every lead.
Did he have any new evidence to work with? Anything that came up after all those years?
Not really. No big smoking gun or anything like that. But as he went through the case files, he started to connect some dots that others might have missed.
What kind of dots?
Well, for one, he couldn't shake the feeling that Donna never actually left Colleen's house that night.
What made him think that?
Well, the missing eyeglass lens, for starters, and the fact that she left her car and purse behind, too. It just didn't add up to her voluntarily taking off,
I see what you mean. It's like she left in a hurry or something.
Exactly. And then there's that whole thing about the cement delivery.
Oh, right. That was weird. A large delivery of cement to Colleen's house just days after Donna disappeared.
Yeah, and there were no records of any construction work happening at the house around that time. It just seemed odd.
Definitely suspicious. Did they ever figure out what that cement was for?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's the question that really started to bug Chief Warren.
He must have wondered if it was somehow connected to Donna's disappearance.
I'm sure he did. It's like something straight out of a crime novel,
Yeah.
A missing person, a mysterious cement delivery, and a whole lot of unanswered questions.
It sounds like he was starting to develop a theory.
Oh, he definitely was. He started focusing on the basement of Colleen's house.
The basement.
Yeah, he started to think that maybe, just maybe, Donna never left the house at all.
You mean?
That she might be buried in the basement. That's exactly what he started to believe.
Wow. But that's a pretty big leap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did he have enough to go on to get a warrant to search the basement?
Well, a warrant based solely on suspicion and circumstantial evidence would have been tough to get.
So what did he do?
He had to play it smart. His first move was to get permission from the current homeowner to search the basement.
I know the house had been sold.
Yeah, it had changed hands a couple of times since 1990. But get this, the current homeowner was actually a relative of Colleen's.
Oh, wow. So that must have been an awkward conversation.
Imagine being asked to let the police dig up your basement because they think your relative might have buried a missing woman there.
You can say that again?
Yeah.
But Chief Warren, bless his heart, he managed to persuade the homeowner to let him search.
He must have been pretty convincing. And a little bit intimidating, too, probably. Well, he was a police chief, after all. But I think it was more than that. He genuinely cared about finding out what happened to Donna, and he was able to convey that to the homeowner.
So with the homeowner's permission, the stage was set for a search of the basement. Did they bring in a whole forensics team?
Well, they didn't exactly have CSI Wabasha at their disposal. Remember, this is a small-town police department we're talking about. But Chief Warren wasn't going to let that stop him.
So they're about to search the basement, a place that has held so many secrets for so long. Did they find anything?
Well, they had a non-profit organization come in, one that specialized in missing persons cases.
How interesting. Did this group have more resources than the Wabasha PD?
Yeah, they had this floor scanner, I think they called it, and cadaver dogs, too.
Wow, so they really went all out. What happened when they scanned the basement?
It took a while. Weeks turned into months, and Chief Warren was still waiting on the results from the organization that did the scan.
Oh, no. So what happened? Did they lose the data?
Worse. They didn't save it. Can you believe that?
Seriously. All that time, all that effort, and the deed is just gone.
Gone, poof, just like that.
I can only imagine Chief Warren's reaction. That must have been incredibly frustrating. But, setbacks like this, they can either make or break you. How did he handle it?
Chief Warren's one of those guys who just doesn't give up. It's like
Mm-hmm.
the lost data just fueled his determination even more.
So what did he do? Did he give up on the basement theory?
Not a chance. He actually left the Wabasha Police Department and became chief deputy at the Wabasha County Sheriff's Office.
So a promotion, did that help with the investigation?
It gave him access to more resources. The sheriff's office was better equipped, and he had his sights set on bringing in the big guns.
The big guns.
The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, the BCA. They've got the best technology, the most experienced forensic experts, ground-penetrating radar, the whole 9 yards.
So he was planning on going back to that basement armed with even more advanced tools.
Exactly. He was convinced that the basement held the answers, even after that setback with the lost data.
But didn't he also consider other possibilities, other scenarios that might explain Donna's disappearance?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He was thorough, always thinking things through. He knew there was a chance Donna had left the house that night.
And met with foul play somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe she hitched a ride with someone, a trucker passing through town, something like that. He also wanted to take another look at that pond they had found near the National Guard post. The one they almost searched before that whole monkey skull thing.
Oh, right. It's amazing how one strange tip can derail an entire investigation. But it sounds like he was determined to explore every avenue. Did anything come of those other leads? The trucker theory, the pond, anything like that?
Not yet, but he hasn't ruled anything out. He also mentioned wanting to re-interview Colleen and Chuck, the couple who were at the house that night.
Hoping they might remember something new, something they didn't think was important before.
Exactly. Sometimes time can help people remember things, or maybe they're more willing to talk now after all these years.
But there was something else, wasn't there? You mentioned a recent development that really solidified Chief Warren's belief in the basement theory.
Oh, yeah. He talked about having a conversation with a key person involved in the case, someone whose identity he's keeping under wraps for now. He wouldn't say who it was, but he did say that this conversation was a real game changer.
So there's something big out there that we don't know about yet. It's frustrating, but I understand why he's being so cautious.
Yeah, you don't want to risk jeopardizing the investigation by revealing too much information, especially in a case as cold as this one.
So we're left with a lot of unanswered questions and a sense of anticipation. It feels like we're on the verge of a major breakthrough. It's amazing how one person's dedication can make such a difference.
Chief Warren's determination to find out what happened to Donna is truly inspiring. He hasn't given up hope, and neither should we. After all, Donna's story is a reminder that sometimes the truth takes time to surface, but it's out there, waiting to be uncovered. Maybe, just maybe, the basement of that house in Wabasha holds the key to unlocking this mystery once and for all. What do you think? Do you believe Donna never left that house? Or is there another explanation for her disappearance? Share your thoughts with us in the comments and subscribe to The Deep Dive so you don't miss out on any future episodes. We'll be back soon with another intriguing case, another mystery waiting to be unraveled.